What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and if I were to tell you a few months ago that the Super Mario Bros. Movie would be the most divisive movie possibly in years, or at the very least in 2023, you probably would have thought I was kidding. I mean, what is there not to love about Super Mario? And how could you really get that wrong? Don't get me wrong. I know Hollywood can find a way to destroy anything. But looking at the previews, it always seemed to me like the Super Mario Bros. Movie was going to be good. It looked good. I know there was some questions there about the voice acting, and understandably so. But from day one, from the first time we got a glimpse at this movie, it just looked like it was going to be something special, at least in my opinion. Well, now the movie has been released, and unfortunately, I haven't got the chance to see it yet. But I will be going to see it soon. Whenever I get done recording all of these freaking videos across all of the channels that I run. But anyways, as I said, this movie has become really divisive. Don't get me wrong. Audiences love it. It has almost a perfect audience score. I think it's like 96%. Everyone I've talked to has said nothing but good things. Actually, let me catch myself there. Everyone I have talked to has said mostly, almost nothing but good things. I've seen a couple of complaints. I've heard a couple of complaints. But even the complaints I heard were from people who said that overall they enjoyed the movie. Critics, on the other hand, seem to have a real issue with this film. Why is that? Now, listen, I am fully aware that everyone has different opinions. You're entitled to your opinion, just like I'm entitled to mine. I don't need to see eye to eye with you on everything. But it's weird to me that the same critics who have been applauding all of these recent Disney movies that have been flopping because they're pure garbage, these same critics who have been applauding all of this nonsense that has been coming out over the last couple of years are now bashing the Mario movie. Why? Well, I guess you can kind of guess it. I guess the Mario movie is not woke enough for them. Never mind the fact that, like I said, I haven't seen it, but it looks like they kind of made Peach a little OP, a little overpowered in this film. So I think they've changed things around a tad bit, but for the most part, it's supposed to be classic Super Mario Bros., right? And Super Mario Bros., unfortunately, isn't diverse and woke enough for modern audiences, or at the very least, not for Hollywood critics, because the audiences love this movie. So Hollywood right now is melting down. They're panicking. They do not know what to do about the Super Mario Bros. Movie because it's shattering everything they thought was real. They've still been trying to use the beer bug as an excuse as to why all of these Disney animated films and even the Marvel movies and stuff are bombing at the box office. They're trying to blame everything except the woke agenda that they have crammed into these movies. So Mario proves that audiences have no problem going to the movies. Audiences still want to take their kids to the movies. They just don't want to be preached to throughout the film. They don't want to have to sit down and have a conversation with their kids about why there are two women kissing on screen and all of this other stuff that they're cramming into these Disney movies for no reason. You could take your kids to go see Super Mario. You don't have to have a weird conversation in the van on the ride home. And, it's just an all-around enjoyable movie that kids will enjoy, but their parents will enjoy as well because they grew up with Mario too. It's really that simple. It's not hard to make an enjoyable movie. Let me rewind that. It's hard to make any movie, but nowadays they go out of their way to make movies that are going to turn you off because the messaging in those movies. So, from what I'm hearing, this movie's pretty simple, which is what it needed to be. It doesn't have to be a complicated, crazy Martin Scorsese film. It's freaking Mario Bros. You know what I mean? But Hollywood is panicking. And all of these movie critics are panicking because they're bought and paid for by Disney. A lot of these people have made their names from reviewing Disney movies. And then they get special badges and they get early access and they get to go to the red carpets, all because they pretend that a lot of these Disney movies are good when they're actually not. When Disney crumbles, so do all of these people. So they desperately need Disney to succeed while other companies fail. They don't want Super Mario to succeed because it shows that not only is their agenda the reason why Disney is failing, but it shows that Disney can be replaced. And make no mistake about it, that's what we're witnessing right now. We're witnessing Disney be replaced by other animation studios who honestly have no business being on top of Disney. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad they are now, but we didn't have to be here. We didn't have to live in a world where the Super Mario Bros. Movie makes more money in one weekend than half of the Disney movies that have released over the past couple of years. But that's where we are. And it's Disney's fault. It's not just because the Super Mario Bros. Movie is good or enjoyable or because it's attached to a known IP, everyone knows Mario. It's because Disney has sullied their brand. They've tarnished their brand. And people are fed up with it. So a lot of these critics, they're scrambling around. They don't know what to do. So they're going to attack the Mario movie because the cast was a diverse. I think Grace Randolph was saying something along the lines of like, Bowser's just so obsessed with Princess Peach and blah, 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 blah. That's the point of freaking Mario. Since the beginning of Mario, Princess Peach has been getting kidnapped by Donkey Kong, by freaking Bowser. Bowser's main agenda, he usually is kidnapping Princess Peach, and Mario goes to save the day. That's the formula. It has worked for decades. It can work on film, but they don't want that. They wanted Princess Peach to be the Daisy Ridley, Rey Skywalker, Mary Sue of this movie, and despite the fact that it looks like they gave her more to do than what you would typically think, despite the fact that it looks like they reworked some of the story in order to make Princess Peach a little more powerful and a little more in the center, it's still not enough for them. They wanted this movie to go full woke. So when you see the critic score and it's like 55%, it's not because of valid arguments. It's because of an agenda. And I say that because these same people have given wonderful, wonderful reviews to completely crap movies that everyone hated for the sole purpose of brown-nosing Disney. So why would I trust their reviews now? If anything, this is showing. This Mario movie is a perfect example, and it is showing what we are dealing with here in the pop culture industry. It is showing the hypocriticalness, the downright the way all of this stuff is, the way all of this stuff runs. This is a perfect example of that. When you go look at the audience score, and you see that audiences love this movie, kids love this movie, adults love this movie. I know people who have been playing Mario since before I was born, and they enjoyed this movie. And then you have these critics who praised things like Lightyear and Strange World and all of these other bogus garbage Disney movies crapping all over Mario. It shows you that they're untrustworthy, and it shows you that it's all about an agenda. It's not about honesty. These aren't honest takes. No, this is about an agenda, and it always has been. And this is another example of how critics and the audience are totally divided. Critics have no idea, or I don't want to say critics have no idea of what audiences want, because I believe they do. They just pretend they don't because, like I said, it's all about an agenda. But let this show you that critics and audiences are totally divided now more than ever. Because audiences are typically going to give you how they really feel about a movie. And critics are going to sway with the wind wherever the industry is swaying. And right now, it's not popular to have characters who aren't race swapped, to have women characters who aren't overpowered Mary Sues. That's not popular. So if the Mario movie checked all of the boxes that these Disney movies are checking, these critics would be fully on board. They're not on board because this movie has nothing about politics. It has nothing about your gender and all of that weird stuff sprinkled throughout the movie. That message is not in the movie. Therefore, they do not like it. And they are panicking because guess what? The Super Mario Bros. Movie might possibly be the most successful movie of the year. It's damn sure going to be the most successful, I think, animated film of the year. And it looks like it may touch $1 billion at the box office. Not kidding. I'm predicting at least $1 billion at the box office. Let me know your thoughts though down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.